In 2025, 1,000 new millionaires were created every single day in the United States. But here's the problem. The moment that you cross that threshold, you enter into what I call the financial services desert. You're too wealthy for cookie cutter advisors, but you don't have the $100 million minimum to get into a single family office. The result? Highly successful people either get stuck in analysis paralysis or start making bad investment decisions, and both can lead to million-dollar mistakes. My name is Christopher Nelson, and I've lived this. My million-dollar moment happened in 2012. And after talking to a few wealth advisors, I quickly realized no one had my best interest in mind. So I studied how the ultra-wealthy manage their money in family offices and built what I now call a micro-family office. And today, it generates over $200,000 per year in cash flow while the principal continues to grow. In this video, I'm going to show you my 4-phase process for building your own microfamily office in 2026 so you can start managing your wealth like the business that it is. So before we dive into the exact process, let me quickly explain what a microfamily office actually is. Because if you've never heard of this term, you're not alone. Traditional family offices are private companies that ultra-wealthy families, we're talking $100 million plus, use to manage everything: investments, taxes, estate planning, even lifestyle stuff like property management and philanthropy. They're incredible businesses, but they require a full-time team and cost millions to operate. Now, a microfamily office takes the same systematic approach and scales it down for professionals with $1 million to $30 million in net worth. You get the strategy and structure of a family office, but you do it with fractional advisors, modern technology, and proven frameworks instead of a full-time staff. Here's what you need to understand. If you're building this, you're not hiring somebody to do it for you. You're becoming the CEO of your own wealth. You're establishing the systems, processes, and a team that works for you. You're calling the shots. The image here on the left is what you probably have now. But a microfamily office transitions you to the top of the org chart. And I'm going to show you exactly how you do that with what I call the Wealth Ops framework. It's 4 phases: architect, build, run, succession. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what each phase entails and how to start implementing it. Okay. Before we get into the phases, let's talk about what you actually need to start building a microfamily office, because not everyone is ready for this, and that's okay. First, the financial threshold. You need to be in that range of the $1 million to $30 million of investable assets. If you're below $1 million, you're probably better off with traditional personal finance strategies. Max out your 401k, build your base, and focus on high interest debt payoff. Nothing wrong with that. But once you cross into 7 figures, especially if you're dealing with equity compensation, concentrated stock positions, or a need for portfolio income, you need a different playbook. Second, the mindset shift. Let me ask you this. How many hours did you work last week? If you're like most high earners I talk to, probably 50 hours plus. And what did that get you? A low to mid 6-figure salary. Now, how many hours did you spend last month actively managing your multi-million-dollar portfolio? For most people, the honest answer is less than 2, or if that. So think about this. In your career, 60 hours a week gets you a $200,000 salary. With your portfolio, 10 hours a month can get you a $200K of annual portfolio income. Here's what needs to change. You have to stop thinking like an employee with a savings account and start thinking like a CEO running a business, because your portfolio is a business. It has revenue, dividends, distributions, return of capital. It also has expenses, fees, taxes, operational costs. It also has assets and a balance sheet. You take all your skills that you acquired in your career and you apply them to your microfamily office. And third, you need to understand why traditional advisors fail at this level. Here's the truth. Most financial advisors are basically running a fast food business model. Their goal is to get as much of your money under management as possible and stick it into products where they have to do as little work as possible. You get the same diversified growth portfolio, whether you have $500,000 or 5 million. And here's the thing. It's not that they're bad people. Their business model just doesn't work for what you need. You need somebody who can help you evaluate deals, divest from concentrated positions, build legal entities for asset protection, and reduce your tax basis as much as possible. That's not what they're set up to do. So now you have two options. Keep paying for advice that doesn't fit, or build your own system. So here's the actual framework to build your system. Phase one is called architect. And this is where most people want to skip ahead. They want to jump straight into what should I invest in? But that's absolutely backwards. You have to architect your strategy first. Think about it. If you were building software, you wouldn't start coding before you understood the requirements, right? Same thing here. We're building three critical documents in this phase. First is your legacy statement. This is your why. Why are you building wealth in the first place? Is it for financial independence, generational wealth for your kids, funding mission work, starting a foundation? You have to get crystal clear on this because every decision you make should ladder up to this purpose. When you have that clarity, decisions become easier. You're not just chasing returns, you're building a portfolio that serves your family's goals. Second is your investment thesis. This is where you define your strategy. What asset classes are you going to invest in? What's your risk tolerance? What's your timeline? What percentage goes into growth versus income versus capital preservation? Most people skip this step and just invest randomly. Oh, crypto when it's hot. Whatever stock is dominating the news cycle. Maybe a rental property. They have no cohesive strategy. The ultra wealthy have an investment thesis and they understand that wealth is made through concentration, but preserved and grown through diversification. So if you want help building your legacy statement and investment thesis, you should come to our next live workshop. I'm going to share more at the end. And the third part of this is your assessment. This is your honest inventory of where you are right now. What assets do you have? What liabilities? What's working and what's not? What's your current cash flow? What's your current tax basis? Most people have never done this exercise. They have accounts scattered across 5 different platforms, and they couldn't tell you their after-tax portfolio performance if you asked them. This assessment becomes your baseline. It's how you measure progress. Once you complete these 3 documents, your legacy statement, your investment thesis, and your assessment, you've completed the architect phase. Now you have a strategy and you're ready to build. Phase 2 is build. This is where we take your strategy and turn it into infrastructure. First is legal infrastructure. You need to set up proper entities for asset protection and tax efficiency. For most people, this means setting up a trust and a holding company. And if you meet certain thresholds, a management company as well, so that you can fully unlock all the tax savings. This isn't sexy, but it's critical. The ultra wealthy don't hold assets in their personal names. They structure everything properly, and you should too. The second is building a team. Here's where your micro-family office model really shines. You don't need a full-time team, and you don't need to be the almighty expert. You need fractional experts who are really good at their specific thing. You need a great certified tax planner who understands advanced tax strategy, not just a CPA who files your returns once a year. You need a bookkeeper to keep everything organized, and you might need an attorney who specializes in estate planning and asset protection. But here's the key. You manage these people. You're the CEO. They work for you, not the other way around. You set up quarterly reviews, you hold them accountable to specific deliverables, and since they're fractional, your costs won't get out of control. And the third is systems and technology. You need a tech stack. At minimum, you need a portfolio dashboard where you can see all your assets in one place, an accounting system for tracking cash flow, a document management system for organizing tax stocks, legal agreements, and investment memos. You don't need to be a tech expert to set this up. There are platforms that do most of this for you. The point is, you're not managing your wealth on scattered spreadsheets anymore. You're running it like a professional operation. And honestly, once you get this set up, it's kind of fun. You actually know where your money is and exactly how it's performing. Once you've built your legal structure, assembled your team, and set up your systems, you're ready to head to phase 3, which is run. This is where your microfamily office becomes operational. And here's what's beautiful about this phase. If you did the architect and build phases correctly, running your family office should take you only 5 to 10 hours a week, not 40 hours, not every evening. Maybe a few hours on Sunday morning and a couple of hours during the week, reviewing deals, trades, or meeting with your team. Here's what the run phase looks like. You have operational rhythms. For example, you have monthly tasks, reviewing your bookkeeping, cash flow management, and monitoring your portfolio dashboard. And every quarter, you're reviewing your portfolio performance against your investment thesis. You're meeting with your certified tax planner to discuss tax strategy. You're evaluating new investment opportunities, whether that's a syndicated real estate deal, a private equity fund, or adjusting your public equity allocation. And you have annual planning, setting goals for the year, reviewing your legacy statement, updating your estate plan, and doing tax projections. But here's what makes this different from just managing your investments. You're not reacting. You're operating according to a system. Your decisions aren't emotional. They're based on your investment thesis. You're not winging it. You're following a repeatable process. Now, there's a fourth phase that separates good wealth management from true generational wealth, and that's succession. Succession is about preparing your wealth business to be handed down. The ultra wealthy think about this from day one, and they're not just building wealth for themselves, they're building an operating system that can outlast them. This means 3 things. First, a comprehensive estate plan that evolves as your wealth grows, not just a basic will, but a plan that includes your legal structure, tax strategies, and clear succession documents. Second, teaching the next generation. Studies show that 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation. You have to have a transfer system, not just the assets. Your kids need to understand your investment thesis and decision-making framework. The third thing is document everything. Your microfamily office needs an operations manual so somebody could step in tomorrow and understand how it all works. That's the difference between the rich and wealthy. Rich is having money, wealthy is having systems that preserve and grow the money across generations. Now, when you put these all together, that's what a functioning microfamily office looks like. For me, this framework is how I've grown my portfolio from 6 million to 8 million in the past few years, while my portfolio generates over $200,000 in annual income. It's what allows my family to take 4 international trips a year. It's what allows me to work on projects I care about. And I spend maybe 10 hours a week managing my wealth. Okay, before we wrap up, here are the 6 biggest mistakes I see when people begin to build their microfamily office. 1, staying over-concentrated in one stock. If 50% or more of your wealth is in company equity, you're one bad quarter away from losing a big part of your net worth. 2, no framework. Winging it with random deals and scattered investments is how you lose money. You need a systematic approach. 3, wrong advisors. Most CPAs aren't tax strategists. Most advisors can't evaluate alternative investments. You need specialists who actually move the needle. 4, treating taxes as an annual event. Strategic tax planning happens year-round and can save you $50,000 to $100,000 each year. And 5, poor investment sizing. I can't say this enough, but putting 25% of your portfolio in one deal because it sounded good is gambling, not investing. And 6, managing millions like a savings account. You need to shift from the drawdown portfolio model to the evergreen portfolio model. So what does a functioning microfamily office actually look like? It looks like having a clear strategy that aligns with your life goals. It looks like a diversified portfolio that generates consistent income, not just paper gains. It looks like a team of experts who report to you, not the other way around. It looks like systems that run smoothly without consuming your life. And finally, it looks like confidence. Confidence that you're making smart decisions. Confidence that your wealth is protected. Confidence that you're building something that lasts beyond you. That's what's possible when you stop managing your wealth like a side hustle and start running it like a business. If you have between $1 million and $30 million in net worth and you want to actually start managing your wealth like a business, I would love to have you on our next live workshop. It's a 2-hour deep dive on building the foundation for your microfamily office. You'll leave the workshop with a legacy statement, investment thesis, and a portfolio structure tailored to your goals. At the time of recording this, we've had over 1,000 people just like you attend the workshop. Head to wealthops.io/go or click the link below this video to register. Our next workshop is likely in just a few days. After you register, you should check out this video on the evergreen portfolio structure that we'll cover in the workshop. Have a great one.